Hi, there's a Vibrant Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to bring you a layout. It's going to be a Christmas layout, and this is what it's going to be. It's going to have a lot of trees in the background. It's going to have a 4x6 and two 3x4 photos. I'm not going to put the photos because I haven't developed them yet, but I'm just going to put the mats, and then when I develop my photos, I'll just plop them right down. It's going to have a title and a subtitle, and all these little forms here are doilies. So let me show you what I'm going to be using to create this layout. I already cut my trees, so what you do is you just take your paper and you cut a triangle out of your paper that looks almost like a tree. I mean, you don't have to be perfect. And then what I did is I cut some 3x4s, and I have my mats ready to go. So the white cardstock is like my photo mat, or my photos, and then my photos will just be placed right there. And I think I'm missing one and I need to cut out. I'm going to be using this paper, and these are the papers that I'm going to use that I selected so far for this layout. And I'm using the old Christmas tree Mama and Si glitter paper stack. I still have a lot. I made cards out of this. I made tags out of this. I made two layouts out of this. I made boxes for my cookies out of this. This paper goes on and on and on. I bought two stacks of the different one. Now, I was able to use up the last stack, which was the Christmas glitter pack by Mama and Si. I'm down to just a little bit of these. As you can see, a lot of the paper's already cut. So I just have little bit of leftovers. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating some cards, and I'm going to save them from next year. So that way next year I don't have to rush on making cards. And I want to use up this paper stack. Then what I'm going to be using, I brought out some of my oldie modies. And one of the oldie modies that I have is this Fisker circle cutter, and I'll show you how to use it, but it creates wonderful little doilies like you see here. They're very nice. And you have a 4-inch and a 6-inch. So if you cut a 6-inch circle, there's a way you can use this, and then a 4-inch. And I'll show you how to do the 4-inch. Now, it doesn't come out, once you cut it out, it doesn't come out like a 4-inch doily. It's actually by 3.5, around 3 or 3.5 circumference, or round. It's not a complete 4-inch. You lose about an inch when you punch it out. Another thing that I'm going to be using is, this is another moldy oldie that I have from Stampin' Up, and it's roller stamping rolling, or what's it called, stamping around, and it has music notes, so I'm going to be using that. And it also comes, when I bought this, I also bought the ink, and it comes with the ink right in there. And you can, these are very nice because you can fill them up with your favorite inks. I'm going to leave that out, but I like that stamp, and I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using, because I want to make straight lines, so I'm going to be using, this is also from Stampin' Up, and this is a ruler, and I've seen this in the regular stores too. But it's a ruler that when you put it together, they're meant for when you use your roller, it will keep it straight, so that way you can make lines. So I'm going to show you how that works. I'm also going to be using some of my stamps. So I made a bunch of doilies with this stamp. This is EK Success, and they still have these in the stores if you like it. I used my 40% coupon when I purchased this stamp, so I'm going to be using some of this. I also going to be using, this is from Kaiser Stamp, or Kaiser Crafts, and it's a stamp that I purchased with the music notes and a little, I would say like a cameo or something like that. I'm going to be using that. And also, I'm going to be using this doily here. You see there? That one. So I went ahead and stamped some of those. And I think that's it that I'm going to be using. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first tip that I want to show you how to use these stamps. These stamps. I usually like to stamp them and then cut them out. But sometimes it's tedious to cut each and every little circle like you see here. So I'm going to show you how you can use your deco scissors to cut so that way it looks like you have some shape around the doily, but you not have to kind of fussy cut it, because sometimes I don't like spending like 2 hours trying to fussy cut all my little embellishments. So I like to have some shortcuts, and one of the shortcuts is to get a deco scissors that is almost the same size, see, of that scallop. So my deco scissors is almost the same size of that scallop, and then I just cut it. So I kind of use that shape to kind of form around each of the scallops and just cut. So here, see, like that area right there, I make sure my scissors kind of conforms on that scallop and cut. Now I don't want the little ends, those little points on my doily. I really don't care to have those. I basically just want the doily shape without those points. And see how I kind of like put it, I match my scallop to the scallop on my stamp image, and then I stamp down. I feel like it's a lot quicker doing it this way than trying to cut it with my scissors. And you don't have to be perfect. You really just need to just kind of give it a little nice shape on the edges so it looks like it's a doily. And see, there you have it. So that was a lot quicker than if I would have gotten my scissors. Now I'm going to show you how to cut this one. So the way to cut this one, you're going to go ahead, here's another one. So you do the same thing with this one. You use this and you use the scallop to cut around it, like so. So now I'm going to show you how to cut this one without having to cut it. Now I can go ahead and use my scissors and cut around it, but what I do is I get a larger scallop scissors, and I do the same thing. I match up the scallop with my piece. And see how I kind of put the scallop using my scissors. I kind of put it around the scissors, like you see there, around the form of the scissors. And there you have it. So you cut it out like that. So that's very easy peasy way to cut out your doilies, so you're not spending a whole lot of time cutting them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep cutting my doily. Oh, one last one that I'm gonna show you. I need to show you how to create this one using this punch. So here I have a 4-inch circle. I'm gonna go ahead and place it right against the you'll see right here it says 4-inch circle. I don't think you see it too well, but it says 4-inch circle right there, and it does say here 6-inch circle. So I'm going to put my circle against the ridge and then punch down. Then you turn it, and then you match up your punch out. So you match up your punch out with the shape on the bottom of your punch, like you see there. So I match it up, and then I punch again. Just like any regular edge punch, You want to match it up. You want to match your punch shape on your doily or on your paper. Punch down. And there you have it. Nice little circle like you see there. Okay. The other punch that I'm going to be using is this mini 8. Now my mother-in-law gave me this mini 8 punch for Christmas. So I do want to use this on this layout. And this one is very easy to do. It's from We Are Memory Keeper. And it came with this punch and an edge punch. So let me show you the edge punch that corresponds to that punch. So this with this, it creates a nice little doily. If you want it not circle, if you want it more rectangular, then you use this with this. But if you just want a circle doily like what I want now, you mainly just use the mini 8, punch down, turn it. Very easy. There's no measuring. You just mainly make sure you have a 6-inch piece of paper. Okay. Oops. And it didn't cut all the way through. I noticed that these punches by We Are Memory Keeper are not as nice and sharp like the Martha Stewart. I never have any issue with the Martha Stewart punch. But they're still good punches. Okay, so now you're going to make sure that this edge goes right against that area there. You see the little arrow? So you want to push it in so it's right against that area and then push down. And it didn't punch very well. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing. Push it in. Okay, that one was a little better. Gotta make sure your squares comes out because they stay inside and they kind of messes up your punch. Okay. Not the perfect punch, but it's good enough. I mean, to be honest, I like these easy 8 or mini 8 punches from We Are Memory Keeper, but if you really want a doily punch, I recommend the Martha Stewart kit. This one right here. This one cuts very nice. And sometimes the edges, as you can see here, are kind of rough. With this one, there's no rough edges. It's nice and smooth. I really like this one more than this one, but they're still good punches. Now, if you find these on sale, go ahead and get them. But I don't recommend to pay full price for those. Okay, so now that I've did that, the next embellishment that I want to cut out or I want to create is using my my music note. So I'm going to place this down. And I'm using this paper. This is book paper that I've created. I deacidified this paper. If you want to see one of my videos on how I did that, go ahead and I'll put the link on the description box of this video. But this paper is acid free. If I take my acid free pen, you can see it. If it turns purple, it means it's acid free. And see, it's acid free. So you don't have to worry about placing this against your pictures. Your pictures won't be affected by any acid. It will preserve it. So now what I want to do is I want to get a piece of scratch paper. You're going to start out from not right in the paper. You start away from the paper and then you roll in. Bring this down. And you can do this the same thing with a ruler. I just happen to have this type of ruler, but you can do this with a regular ruler also. The nice thing about this is a little raised, so that's why a ruler is flatter and sometimes it will skip. So there. Now to clean this, you basically just push this down. So to use it, I didn't tell you how to use it. You push this up. So what that does is it makes the ink part of this roller touches the stamp roller here, and see how it continuously inks your stamp image. Then when you want to clean it, you need to put back the little cap here, push it in, bring this down, and then you can use, and I'm going to clean it off. So see how there's no more, it doesn't ink it anymore. Then you can use your ink pad, your little scrubber, and just scrub away. Now before I place that here, I want to go ahead and put some of these corner punch. I used a Martha Stewart corner punch. So now that I have my my mats ready to go, I'm just inking the edges so that way it will stand out a little more against the background. And now I'm just going to bring the page over. I'm just cleaning my hands because they really get with a lot of ink. So I'm cutting the base page 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. And now I'm just going to ink the edges to also help it stand out a little bit against the background. And I'm just going to place it down. And I love using glue stick or liquid glue to glue my pages down, because then it gives me opportunity to move it around if I ever make a mistake and it's not even. So now that I have my tag ready, I'm going to place that at the bottom of my page, almost at the bottom. And now I'm going to use this Jenny Bolin punch, is the Ticket Please. And I'm going to use that to put it underneath my my banner here. So now I'm ready to go ahead and start putting some ink on the edges of all my trees. And if you notice, these trees are not a perfect triangle, and you don't have to be perfect. But you do want to make different sizes. So I have large size and smaller size. And then this doily, I'm just cutting it in half so that way I can use half for the top and then half on the bottom. And I didn't have enough of that paper, and that's why I cut that piece in half so that way I can um, repeat it. Do you want to repeat your embellishments? So that's why I put one on top and one on the bottom. And you notice that the doilies are repeating throughout the page as well. And then here I wanted to ink these because they were just too white, so I needed to ink them. And after I inked them, I went ahead and cut down that music note. I really wanted just a little strip, so I cut that down and I put it on top. And there are the doilies that I have glimmer mist. And there's another little embellishment that I created, my little cameo. And you want to repeat your elements. So because I put the music note on top of my page, you want to bring that same element at the bottom. You do want to repeat it. Same as that 6-inch doily, I put one on top and then I want to repeat it at the bottom. In the next section, I kind of went fast forward. My camera went off while I was trying to assemble all my pieces together. So you kind of missed that part, but it's basically I just
kept moving all the pieces around until I kind of felt that it went, it looked okay. So here now those letters that you see, the 2014 that you see there, I kept playing with it because originally I wanted to put it on the top, but I decided to put it at the bottom because the top, it was just not, it looked like it was unbalanced. The page was unbalanced. And by putting it at the bottom, it kind of balanced out the page a little better. I have a stamp. In a moment you'll see I have a stamp that says peace, hope, and love. But when I went ahead and stamped it on my layout, and you'll see in a second right there, that's the stamp. And when I stamped it down on top of that doily, it kind of disappeared. So the solution for this was to stamp it on a piece of white cardstock and then create a banner. And then I placed that right on top of my stamp image. So if you make a mistake like I did there, no worries. Just stamp another piece of white cardstock or tag and just place that on top, and that will work fine. I'm placing the final touches on my layout, and I am done. So here I'm going to bring over the sketch. So that was the original sketch that I started. Doesn't look like much, but when you start putting everything down, it does come out pretty nice. So you don't have to be an artist to create your sketch. It's mainly just a rough draft of where you're going to put your embellishments and elements. So here's a closer look of my page. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you for watching. Bye now.